print and linear television going down in spends versus digital and OTT. A lot of large players are still sort of patronizing both. What are your views on how the future of media spends is going to be, minus the short-term sort of blips we may see, as we have perhaps seen in the past quarter or few months? What is the longer-term trend in this regard?
See, the reality is that digital spends have overtaken all other mediums 2 years ago. So digital is the largest medium as far as advertising spends are concerned. It is close to about 51% of all advertising that gets invested today. 51%.
51%.
Yeah. So digital is about 51%. So it is bigger than all other mediums put together now. That has happened. But does it mean that there is going to be a continuous drop in the spends on other mediums? I think different mediums are reacting differently. If you look at newsprint dramatically dropped during COVID because of a lot of reasons. But newsprint has actually made a comeback, especially in vernacular.
Okay.
And today, a lot of our partner publications with whom we work very closely, who publish in the regions in multiple languages outside of English, they actually have gone back to 2019 levels. In some cases, even better than 2019 in terms of advertising revenues.
Okay.
Interesting. Look at radio. Radio is not a relevant medium for most of us as consumers or listeners in metro markets anymore. But you go into a small town, radio is flourishing. You'll tune into a radio station today in a small town like Banaras, and you will see 15 to 20 minutes of advertising on the radio station today.
Okay.
You'll hear that.
Well, that's very interesting, because I thought in the metros we were caught in traffic and therefore we were listening to a lot of...
See, that was one of the biggest myths of radio, which I've spent demystifying many, many years.
Yeah.
That radio, actually 75% of listening actually happened at home.
Not in the car.
Not in the car. Right?
Wow, fascinating insights. Fascinating. Pankaj, you want to...
Yeah, so there are two ways to look at it. Both print and television, the relative growth is lesser than that of digital. So you can call it declining. But if you look at the absolute numbers, everything is growing.
Absolutely.
Everything is growing.
Everything is growing. So number of people who used to read newspapers 5 years back, or the number of people who read it now are more than what they used to read 5 years back.
Then is there a demographic dividend at play here? The fact that India is still a growing country, that you have 45% of a certain age profile, which is still coming up?
Newspapers, I think itself, for an example, is a very interesting case study, because when television came, people said print is done. Why would you read news that happened yesterday, printed in the night, delivered to me in the morning, and I take it to the washroom at like 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock, where I get breaking news on my phone. But print still continues. I think all of these factors are consumer habit driven. It's a habit.
That's
and it remains true that, you've got fantastic mediums to read books digitally on a mobile phone, but given a choice, Siddharth, you'll take a book and sit by the poolside and read on a paper. Right? It's just a different experience. So that's all it's about. So I don't think any medium is dying. Cable and satellite, again, very interesting point. And I say this example a lot. It's about my mom. She's got a smart TV, but she's still got an Amazon Fire Stick installed on that smart TV, which is weird, because the earlier TV she had was not smart. So she started with an Amazon Fire Stick. She's used to that remote control. Now I've upgraded the TV, but she doesn't want to take the new remote.
Fascinating insight.
And cable and satellite channels, so she would still watch them on a Tata Sky, because it's the remote, it's habit.
Absolutely.
Ashwin, I'm going to... you wanted to add?
No, I think I want to just reiterate the point you made. The fact that all mediums are growing, and which is the beauty of the Indian media industry right now, which is very divergent from what we see rest of the world.
And all languages are growing, because, people also say English is no longer the growth market.
See, where it is degrowing is really English.
Oh, really?
Where it is growing is in languages.
And within languages, is there a top three sort of language?
It flows depending on the population of the languages that are being spoken about.
Okay,
right?
X of Hindi, is it
So
Telugu?
X of Hindi, you will have Marathi, Bangla, Telugu, Tamil as the top four languages.
Okay.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.